Well, today is a new day, and it is a new chance to get things right. And so that's what I'm going to try and do today. It was a pretty strong message on my heart this morning when I woke up. That was given to me by we know who, our Lord above, and uh, I started to write notes today, and a lot of notes on these thoughts I was having and this message that was coming to me pretty strong today. And so I wanted to share it with all of you before I leave here to go out to dinner. Uh, yeah, as I said, today is a new day, and with the new day is coming right now a new season, and you can't see now because everything's been raked. The leaves were raked today and picked up, but the leaves are starting to fly around and they're everywhere. And it's a brand new season, and with seasons come change, and it's time to make some changes. All right, I think for a lot of us, when I think about uh, Christ's love, and I think about Jesus himself, and I think about the people who have come forward to talk about their encounters where they've actually seen him. They speak about his eyes, and they speak about his smile. And there's no other person you're ever going to hear about that walked this earth that had it. That had it. I'm going to talk about it in this video. So he had what I call it. He had it all. It was his smile. It was his eyes. I have a lot of notes here, so don't mind me referring to what I wrote because I'm probably going to end up reading some of this. But it was his eyes. It was the way he spoke, how he spoke to people. He had a way with words. He spoke with grace. He spoke with love, with boldness, and with conviction. He did warn people of what was going to come if they didn't get things right. But yet he did it in such a way that didn't make people feel horrible about themselves. He gave the warnings and he let it go. He was mocked for being this way. Why? Why was he mocked for being this way? Because nobody else could get to his level. Nobody else could get to Jesus's level. So they hated him for that simple fact. They hated him. You know, he was completely untouchable. Yet they all tried as hard as they could to get a reaction out of him. Always. To get him to budge. Satan coming to him in the desert, tempting him, torturing him, taunting him. But he didn't budge. He kept it classy. He didn't mock and mimic people, even if at times he probably felt like it. He showed everybody how to act by the way he acted. So when we think about this kind of beauty that spills from the inside and out, radiates on somebody, when you think of people like this, I found myself today thinking of people I've known in my lifetime, in my 40 years being on planet Earth. And I'm thinking about these type of people that I could only describe as they had this Christ-like love to them. They're as closest to God as I can think of anybody else, and it showed by this kind of a thing. And I want to give you guys some examples of that today. And I ask that as I do this video, if you think of people that in your lifetime, or people that we've all watched, could even be, we were following their story for years in the media, and we were seeing what was happening in their lives. We were seeing what they were doing out there in the world. But those people that you can think of as I'm going to describe in this video, I'd love for you to share in the comments of people that have done this for you or that you've recognized what I'm talking about here. Many of you have heard my stories about my meme. And for those of you that haven't, she's the first person to come to mind. My meme is the person in my life that lived in this house. First of all, her and my Pepe lived in this house. This is why I don't want to do anything to this house. I want to keep it the way it is because it's symbolic to me. But my meme was the first person to come to mind. She's the one that taught me about Christ's love. She's the one that taught me about having what it means to have faith. She's the one that was devout to the Lord. And she had, and it showed throughout her lifetime. Every single day that woman woke up, knelt on the side of her bed, said her prayers. She had a routine. Every day she had a routine. She got up the same time every day. She would go downstairs. She would say the rosary. Now, for many of you that have already heard me say this, I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. I don't care what religion you are part of. In my journey, as you guys know, I don't follow any doctrine any longer. I don't follow a religion. My religion is the Bible. But for those people that do, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, and there's nothing wrong with what we're doing, and vice versa. There are people I'm going to talk about in this video tonight that were practicing Catholics. And I believe it's your personal relationship that you have with Christ that has nothing to do with anything else. No matter what this person is saying about it, that person is saying about it. Yeah, oh yeah, my meme went to hell because she prayed to Mary. Get out of here. Anyway, getting back to, I want to talk about the good in her. You know, she had a very tragic life. One tragedy after another, after another, after another. And I'm talking horrible tragedies from people around her. Brother dying in a river, drowning in a river. Her other brother dying in Iwo Jima. Her son dying. She lost her child, okay? And one day I said to my Meme, how are you like this? How did you get through all that? She said, if I didn't have God in my life, I never would have gotten through any of it. So she taught me who Christ is, okay? And, you know, she was tough as nails. She's the one I get this edginess from. And my I don't care. If you're wrong, I'm going to call you out. This is where I get it from. She would be in the, we'd come home from school and she'd be playing soccer with my brother and I, okay, over everybody else in my family. My mom may want to play soccer and kickball. And then she'd come in and make us a kick butt dinner. Same time every night, she'd make dinner for my grandfather. It had to be on the table 5 o'clock. He was diabetic. But let me tell you, she would put you in your place if she had something to say. She had a kind heart, but don't double cross her. And this is where I get it from. The next two people I want to describe to you that I feel like had, and I feel, by the way, I know, see, I don't ever believe I'm ever going to be, there's no demons that can get in this house, if you catch my drift. There are no demons ever getting in this house because of my meme. And I believe my meme's prayers are still blessing me to this very day. So I just wanted to say that much about my meme. The next two people who had these kind of characteristics that I'm describing tonight are Ed and Lorraine Warren. I look up to the two of them beyond measures. For those of you that don't know who Ed and Lorraine Warren are, they passed. They have passed. There's so much I'm going to say about the next few people. I mean, it would take basically another video to go through their amazing accomplishments in life. There is so much to say. How many books they've written, how many cases that they did. Ed and Lorraine Warren were the first two of their kind to ever go into people's homes and try to help them with demonic paranormal activity happening in home. They were the first two. They were original gangsters of this. They were the original gangsters of being Ghostbusters. And what astonishes me about the two of them, if you ever listen to any of their interviews, first of all, they were a married couple that met very young, same as my grandmother. Lorraine met Ed, I believe, when she was 16. And the two of them had encounters. Well, she was able to see auras in people at a very young age. She recalls in one of her interviews that she was sitting in class and she looked at the nun in class and she says, Sister so-and-so, how come Sister Betty over here has more light around her than you? And that nun said to her, we don't talk about that stuff in class. We don't talk about that. When she met Ed Warren, when she met Ed had demonic and paranormal activity in his house when he was a kid, and he was on this conquest to finding out ever since he was in that haunted house what that all was and why that happened to him. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I should have looked this up, but I was just so excited to do this video, I believe Ed might have been the first person to call himself a demonologist, but I'd have to look that one up. But I know he's one of the first people you're ever going to hear about that was a demonologist and literally studying demons and how they operate and how they invade a home. And I'm going to tell you what, when you would listen to them in an interview, they had that Christ-like love in their hearts. They did this out of the kindness of their hearts. They went out there and helped people, not getting any money for it, not getting paid for any of it. They made their money off of the books that they wrote about this. They were mocked, they were mimicked, they were shamed. I mean, they were the first of their kind to be doing this kind of work from the late 60s up until, well, Lorraine just passed away a few years ago. So their work on this planet is some of the bravest work you're ever going to hear about in your lifetime. I just want to say too that to go into people's homes and to hear their encounters of what they were fighting, and the only reason they were able to fight it is because of their confident relationship with Jesus. It was so confident, it was so strong. They were doing stuff, you guys, that priests wouldn't even attempt to do. Okay, they were Catholic. Okay, that takes courage. That's heart work. That's the work of saints. That's walking earth angels here on this planet. And that was them. The very next person that comes to mind for me is the one and the only that I talk about on my channel the most, and that is Derek Prince. For those of you that do not know who Derek Prince is, I've talked about him so much on my channel, but if this is your first time ever listening to me, let me tell you why I look up to this man beyond measures and why he is someone that has shown me that you can get better and better and better in your relationship to Christ every single day because of how he is. And he's since passed, but he changed my life. He changed my life. He gave me answers to something I was seeking for over a decade. When I first discovered narcissism, after my first encounter with one when I was 22 years old, the only information I was ever finding was the psychological information. And the first person to start doing that, as we know on YouTube, was Sam Vaknin. And I was one of the first people, I was probably one of his first followers. But when I discovered Derek Prince, everything made sense. The piece of the puzzle was finally put together for me of, wow, this is something I've been trying to figure out for the longest time. I knew deep within my heart it was not psychology happening to these people, that there was some kind of spiritual infection. And whenever I found his teachings on YouTube, and thank the Lord God that people have put up his teachings and the conferences he did, you can find on YouTube, it changed my life because it gave me the answers I was seeking. So many preachers are going to try, but no one's ever going to get to that man's level. And here's why. Derek Prince spoke with kindness and poise. His demeanor is the kind of demeanor we all sort of wish we had as some type of male figure in our lifetime. Even when there would literally be witches yelling and screaming in the back, which, by the way, how can you people not know your history of the Salem witch trials that I just posted on my wall? Shame on you. Shame on you for not knowing about women being called witches. That's a separate thing altogether from people that practice witchcraft. Hello. Do you not know this? Okay. Let me get back. Let me get back to Derek Prince's demeanor here, because I could learn some. I know it. There's too much I need to learn about this, and that's I'm getting at this too. So anyway, he had a witch screaming in the back of his uh, conference, his sermon, his deliverance. No, he was actually doing a deliverance ministry, a deliverance over the whole congregation, and we got a witch in the background screaming. He didn't even break. Okay, you can find this video online. He remained confident, and he said, "We're going to continue with our program." He's the kind of spirit you instantly know you can trust, because he's got confidence due to his knowledge of the Bible. But even so, you could have the utmost knowledge of the Bible. It was his way. It was his way. He's what I call it. He had it. He still has it, because I never got to meet him while he was alive, and he's affecting me and millions of people out there to this day. And many of these people are still, and they will for a very, very long time. I think until this world is done. So you can have, a very strong relationship, or you can have a lot of knowledge of the Bible, but it's your strong relationship to Christ. That's what we're seeing here. This is what I'm talking about. For those of you that know Derek's story, at age 24, he meets a 40-year-old woman. She's got 12 orphan kids from the war. She's very plump. She's very kind. Do you think he fell in love was it love at first sight for him? No. I'll put money on it wasn't. He loved her heart. He said in an interview that he loved how prayer, what a praying, her prayer life, her connection to Christ, and how she had all these children praying. He said he felt a peace he had never felt before in his life being at her house. And isn't that how a Christian relationship is supposed to be? Your friends first. Your friends first, and you fall in love with each other's hearts. They had a beautiful Christ-centered life, because it was centered around Christ. They had a beautiful marriage, raised very beautiful daughters that have done amazing things in their life. I recently had, I had a friend at one point tell me a story about how they had taken a walk in a mall one day, and they saw this person, and they had never been so attracted to another person in their life. Like, they said, this was my girl, but I didn't have the courage to go up to her and talk to her, and I lost her. And I remember thinking to myself when I heard this story, you didn't even know her. You didn't even know her. And I don't know about you guys, but how many of us had those, love at first sights with they all turned out to be narcs. I mean, you can't go by that. That's not even real. You don't even know the person. You don't even know, you know them by their fruits. And I always think, when I think of this story now, it's like, this is love. That's a happy ending love story of two people that fell in love with each other's heart and their prayer life for the Lord. I mean, how beautiful is that? When he married his second wife, and her name's escaping me right now, and those video recordings are available on YouTube to watch that, you see them praying together in unison. Okay? He starts off his services with her by his side, saying a prayer together in unison. And it's very powerful, and he knew the value of a woman. and how many biblical examples are of female leaders there are in the Bible. I'm putting together all of them right now to share with you. He respected all people. Derek Prince lived in all kinds of cultures and environments. He traveled the world. He is a force to be reckoned with, and he is truly, truly what I would call a man of God without question. Without question. It doesn't get any better than him. Okay, so for those of you that might obviously know the next person I'm talking about and why I'm talking about her is Princess Diana. I've talked about her before in my videos, but my hair is starting to grow out, and it's at that stage where I can put it back into the smallest little ponytail, but it's ever so annoying. Princess Diana, when I think about her, is a person that showed her love in her heart by the way she loved others, and how much that woman gave. I mean, again, if I was to go through the amount of things that she did for society, this would be a whole nother video. It would take forever. And for those of you that know that, what I like most about Princess Diana is she used her title. She used her title to do good in this world. When I think of her, I think of a woman that had the utmost class. She had class. She had the kindest heart. And her beauty showed on the outside so naturally because her beauty from within was so natural. She had her struggles with an eating disorder, which I believe is a demon for sure. But she was carrying so much hurt and pain and suffering from Charles. And the one interview that really sticks out to me of Princess Di, for those of you that had maybe seen this, is the interview she describes when she finally confronted Camilla. And wow, could we all learn a lot from her. She took her time to consider what she was going to say, when she was going to say it. And the way she said it to Camilla, she ripped that woman into shreds without having to say much. Just by her kindness, her poise, her class. She didn't have to call her names. I'm sure she wanted to call her every name in the book. I'm sure she wanted to pull her hair out of her head. She didn't have a ghetto moment. She was intelligent because she was grounded. And she had that Christ-like love in her heart until the day she died. And this is what I'm talking about. Well, the next two people I want to share with all of you that really changed my life is Betty White and Lucille Ball. And I put them together because they're sort of one and the same to me. Of people don't realize the power of especially a woman that can make everybody laugh. That's powerful. And it's awesome. And it's a gift from God. And they both had it. Obviously, Betty White is still here. They were confident, kind, caring, tough as nails. The both of them recognize that quality too. Tough as nails. Lucille, when she would get fed up, she'd get fed up. I mean, she had that. I've had it. And Desi she said once in an interview, you can find this on YouTube too. She says, my ex-husband was a loser. He had to go and lose everything. And she was right. I mean, he chose alcohol and whores over her. Betty White, okay, she's got that kind, meek spirit, but boy, oh boy, when she gets on stage, she'll rip every actor a new one. I mean, she's just beyond intelligent. And Betty White will actually admit to people that she cares more about animals on this planet than humans. And I kind of am right behind her on that one. what a difference they've made. And also, again, the same with them. Look into what they did while they were here. How many people they helped while they were here. Not to mention how many people they helped anyways by tuning into them and having laughter in our lives, which isn't that so important? It's more important than people even realize to have that laughter. It's a gift from God. So once again, we know them by their fruits. For many of these people, we watch them and we followed their life. They touch millions of lives and still continue to do that. Do you ever hear of people having stories about Derek Prince and Princess Diana and saying things like, they really hurt me? No, you're never going to hear that. Oh, I called them for help and they really broke my heart. No, you'll never hear a story like that about these people. Never. You'll never hear of it because they had it. All of us could learn a thing or two about these people. I woke up today really thinking about this. I'm thinking about all the work I have ahead of me to try and attain something like this. Can I do it? Yep. Yes, I can. And so can every one of you. We have to have that want and that will to be better every day. Will I keep my sense of humor? Absolutely. I found toilet humor funny when I was 3, and it's never going away. That's who I am. Okay. I believe God gave us that for pure laughter on the planet. Okay. And that's what makes me who I am. Am I going to keep my passion? A lot of my anger fueled my passion to help victims of narcissistic abuse. I channeled my anger for the good. And, can I be very quick-tempered and ready to react? Absolutely. Absolutely. But when you get abused by people that are bigger and stronger than you, you realize that your tongue is the only weapon you have. And you learn that at a certain age that that's the only thing you have to fight back. But all these people use their tongues too. They just might have waited longer to process and use it more intelligently, instead of this clapback mentality that people have. And that clapback culture didn't exist back then. The clapback was just them ignoring it. Diana was in the tabloids every time you turned around. I mean, imagine how that felt. For everything. That woman couldn't even move without her being in the tabloids. The rest of them were mocked for the work they were doing. People were going on television shows about Ed and Lorraine Warren saying that they were all phonies and they're making everything up. And they had to fight through that their entire lifetime up until they died. Many heroes out there are the Christ-like people, but you're not going to hear about them. Why? Because they're too busy out there doing things. They're the people that made a nice hot meal and sent it over to their elderly neighbor and didn't tell anybody about it. They're the ones that went into their elderly neighbor's lawn to rake the leaves for them or to mow the lawn without asking for anything in return, just out of the kindness of their heart. They're the ones that are going to be taking hours of their time to volunteer at a homeless shelter or a pet rescue. And they're not going online going, toot, toot, beep, beep, where's my money? You got money for me? I'm doing something good over here. You're not going to even hear them asking for money. Because they're too busy. They're too busy getting with God, which is getting with the things that, because I believe, isn't that what we're supposed to be here doing? What is there left for us to do other than love one another and help one another? Isn't that the whole purpose of us being here? I think so. And a lot of you are telling me, I want better friends. I was thinking about this today. Well, we got to start by being a better friend to ourselves, number one. And then, number two, if we start doing these kinds of things that we've not done or we forgot about doing them, even something as simple as writing Thanksgiving and Christmas cards, sitting with my niece and nephew to do this, and we're going to go down and give them to the elderly people in the nursing home, which is something that was taught to me to do in Catholic school. I couldn't wait for the holidays to do that. I loved that. Now I'm going to pass that gift on for somebody else to feel good about doing something like that. I mean, then next thing you know, you're starting your own society. You're starting your own group of people that are doing this with you. And this is how you meet and yoke with the right people and have fellowship with the right people and make friends with the right people, because you're now in the right environments. Have I met some amazing people sitting in a bar? Yes, I have. Can't judge a book by its cover, but what I'm trying to say is your chances of meeting people that are more like you are going to be doing these types of activities and not sitting at a bar. And the last thing I want to say is still do things out of the kindness of your heart. And don't ever look to do things just to say, hey, I did them. Hey, is someone proud of me that I did this? It's got to come from the kindness of your heart. Many months back, I gave a friend a gift, and I thought to myself, this person needs to be lifted up. This person, and I was at a place where my feelings hadn't developed for them. I still looked at them as a person, as a friend that needed to feel better about themselves and all the struggles they were going through. And I thought of them receiving the gift and opening it up and being happy and making their day. And that's literally where it came from. And I knew what else was happening for them, and I wanted to show I cared. That's where it came from. It came from the kindness of my heart. And lo and behold, did they show how they really felt and the importance of me in their life? Yeah, but that's okay. I still know where it was coming from in my heart, and so does God. And it was coming from a place that of love and caring, and so, when people get hurt, do they go through an array of emotions? Yes, they do. That's normal. It's normal to process all of them. One minute you still care and respect and love them from afar. The next minute you feel betrayed, insulted, used. You feel angry, confused, hurt. And then the next day you're accepting it, you're okay with it. And that's just how it works. They say time heals all wounds. No, you know what heals wounds, you guys? A decision to make your focus on the right things again for you in your life and concentrate on, what can I do tomorrow to help people and make sure I'm helping myself along the way. Well, the last thing I want to say is do things always with love, because you're going to feel much better about yourself when you are. And when you do that, no matter what's going on, you can't go wrong. And that's what made Jesus. It's his undying love, unfailing love. Well, I hope this message can help someone, as it truly helped me when God put this into my heart today. And so I wish all of you a very beautiful weekend. And we are meeting for worship tomorrow at 12 noon. And if I have worked with you and I know you, and you are more than welcome to come into that service. I will not allow people in my service I don't know. I've been way too hurt by people in the church, as those of you that know. And that kind of abuse is still alive and well and will always be. And you're not entering my church if I don't know you. I call it a church, whatever you want to call it. We're getting together. I can't stand titles. I don't have a title. I'm not looking for a title. I'm looking for like-minded people that are trying to better themselves every single day like me. that are looking to put Christ first in their lives and looking to have a place to go to do that. Okay? And that's what this worship service is. You're more than welcome to present a topic, to discuss scripture, to be a part of this with us. This is not all me talking and everyone listening, because I don't believe in that. We open it up for discussion. We have people talk about the message of the day, what they want to share, and if they have a message of the day, they're going to be the ones sharing. And that's how I run it. That's how I'm doing things. Okay? Anyway, I hope you guys have a whatever time of day it is for you, whatever country you are. I love you guys very much. And like I said, every day we can get it right. We can get it right. So today and even tomorrow, I'm going to focus on getting things even more right. So I hope you guys will join me in that. Love you very much. I'm Trace Face. It's time we all face the truth together.